Hey folks, I went to bed with the video uploading, and so I didn't discover until this morning that when I tried to adjust the picture on my camera, I must have hit the other selection where it went to line in instead of webcam microphone. That's why you heard a little bit of music at the beginning, but no talking. If anything, it allows me to try and better say what I was trying to say last night, and so I will try. I just got up and saw it, so I said, let me get up. You know, it happens anyway because I was sleeping lightly. I'm going to try to cover the three things I did in the last video. The show I went to, another pre-review, and kind of a wrap up of this weekend, because my weekend has been amazing. It's been fantastic. I noticed that there was already a bunch of comments on the video that didn't have any sound, and one of the comments, see, this gives me an opportunity also to explain better like I need to, but to help you understand me as a person, okay? So among the comments was one comment from a name that I think I recognized, and the comment was, "This time I totally disagree with you." Now, I think I get the context that it's a joke, but I must explain that joking and sarcasm does not translate well in the third person when you don't have the other person to see, to get a context of what they're saying. Some things that may have been a joke sound serious, and I have to decide what to do with them. So that, I think, makes complete sense, and it has a lot to do with why I monitor my comments the way I do, which I have a right to. You know what I'm saying? I can take a joke as much as anyone, but when you don't know it's a joke, then it's up to me to decide how to respond. Okay? All right. Lots of stuff happened this weekend. A good friend of mine, Terry, who's like a sister to me, I helped for a time with the care of her children. For a time, they called me dad, and they lived here with me on and off. So, and we're bonded for life. That started when David was 9 and Sarah was, I think David was 8 or 9, Sarah was 11. And both their birthdays are this month. You know, David will be 27 next week, Sarah 30 the following week. But anyway, their mom and her, I had to put it this way because I've been with them so much. I've seen the mom go through a lot of boyfriends. I was never one. I was there as a friend. Kind of felt like a brother to her. You know, that's how she feels to me, like another sister. But anyway, Terry and Aaron had a housewarming party last night, and I went. A lot of times I just don't go, but I follow energy. It was wonderful, and it was great to see Aaron and Terry in a house that's large enough to accommodate them. They're both, she trains horses, he's a tattoo artist, builds motorcycles. They have a lot of interest. They need a lot of room. It was a good time. It was just wonderful. But anyway, as well as that, I went to a show last night, and I need to explain that it's been, I'll go through long periods of not going to shows for a number of reasons, but the main reason is that I'm a homebody, and at my age, it's real easy to stay home. I'm much more interested in going out to play. And a band that we'll probably play with, I saw last night. Okay, so Tim Cox is the drummer of my band RAF, the punk band I'm in. Tim also was the touring drummer for one tour with TSOL. And then both of us played with Rick Agnew Fiasco. Rick Agnew of Adolescence, Christian Death, all that. So anyway, Tim knows what he likes. He's really into punk and power pop. And he's been enthusing about this local band called No Thanks. I'll put it in the annotation so you can understand. And they opened last night for a band that I caught wind of through Tim. national band called Dilly Dally. I checked him out online and I saw what he was talking about. So he convinced me to go to the show, and I'm glad I did. I can't show you anything by Dilly. No thanks, they don't have anything out yet. But RAF, after seeing them last night, my thought was RAF must do a show with this band. They're loose and about rock and roll. It's like there's the singer reminds me of a very young Iggy Pop who's taking chances on stage, and the band reminded me of a combination of Wire and the Germs. I was impressed. And they gave Dilly Dally a real good run for the money, but Dilly Dally held up. This is a band to take note of, especially if you like, if you're in the vein of rock, like we used to call it alternative or indie. None of those terms have any meaning anymore because everything's been gentrified and absorbed. But the band, it's fronted by two women and who've been together for a long time. Young, they look really young, but that's because I'm so old. But the girl that sings, Katie, her voice always gets compared to Courtney Love of Hole because of the raspiness and the way that she plays with it, emotionally. I rate her higher vocally than what Courtney Love does, although I see that Courtney Love has some talent. But I was really impressed is the word. I wasn't blown away, but it was like this young band, the songs are good. I didn't quite make out the words. I'm going to actually look at these words because I was watching her performance. It's like, yeah, I'm curious what she's going on about. But Dilly Dally, Soar, what a cover. I mean, talk about, obviously that's a tongue ring, right? Some tongue ring, huh? Yeah, a little sore, I like this. Comes with a poster, but of that or it's to me it's not that it's not a disturbing set. It's not disturbing. It's kind of cool, the pink and everything. So Dilly Dally, check them out. It's a new band. They're on tour. They're young. They mean it, man. So I'll do the music first and I'll do my commentary. So that way, if you're not interested in the commentary, you can go, okay? I also received this weekend, and I'm going to do a separate video after I really absorb this. Let me just see if I can find this right quick to make a tie-in. Just a minute. Yeah, here we go. Several videos ago, I was playing the band the Muffins, an American band was heavily influenced by the Canterbury sound of Soft Machine, Hatfield and North, and all those bands. And I have these two vinyl albums of theirs. One of the main people in the band is a fellow named David Newhouse, who I befriended on Facebook, and we've become friends, although we haven't met, but we talk almost every day on Facebook. And he has a brand new release, which he had been sharing the process of online. And he told me he wanted to send me some copies, mainly because he knows how much I like his work, but also if I like it, to do a review, which I'm going to. My first listen of Mono Mirage's Blue Dogs, brand new release by David Newhouse and members of the Muffins, is very positive. I love this type of music. There's something very human and personal about this, even though it's progressive. But I want to dedicate a whole video to this. After I've only listened to it once, and this is the kind of music I like to really learn and absorb. But what I decided I would do is this. Dave sent me more than one copy of the CD. And what I intend to do is forward some copies of this CD to people I know associated with music where I can somehow help promote or get to the ears that need to hear it, this music. because this is not for everyone. It's like it's music that you have to pay attention to, or else it'll annoy you, or you just won't get it, because it's about the music. It's not background. It's not just noise. It's something it will sustain you and fulfill you. This is why I like this music so much. It has really sustained me. It's helped me to grow. It helps me to be strong. And I really appreciate David Newhouse sending me a copy of the new one, and I will be reviewing it in full. But that was the other thing I was showing you in the other video, is this. And now that I remember, I also took a moment to share that this weekend, and this is related to a bit of the abuse, and that's what I've been dealing with, is abuse. And I'm done with it, But after getting some clarity about what's going on here, and making that video that I did with the music, got me to reflecting upon my true appreciation of the vinyl community and all of the kindness that people have shown me over the years, continue to. And one person who has shown me some amazing kindness, because I was playing some of the singles again for the first time this weekend, is a fella in Australia. I think his name is David. I don't know if Dave watches anymore. He shared with me that he's older than me, but he loved how I talked about music, my enthusiasm. So he's, over the years, sent me more than one package of singles. Yesterday I was playing some of them, and this is amazing. Golden Miles by Healing Force. Psychedelia with organ and congas. Excellent. I was enthusing about how David personally took time to illustrate these sleeves for me, and how I got my first Regal Zonophone label record, The Moves, Flowers in the Rain. That label as a kid seemed very exotic and foreign. It's like, I know that some real common people like Joe Cocker and stuff were on the label, but I, here in Nebraska, didn't see many of those records, and they were imports, and at the time they were coming out back in the 70s, I could hardly afford to buy any records, so all I could do was look. So I always thought to myself, man, I don't know why I like that label. It's very plain, but there was something about the name that I wanted. So thank you, David. I also showed The Loved Ones. Really good. I showed King Fox. This is a band that were really young when they made this, but this is really good. Unforgotten Dreams. It has flute on it that sounds a lot like early Peter Gabriel era Genesis. So I wanted to again remember to give thanks to all of you folks who have been kind and decided upon your own to send me music. It really has, and it continues to enrich my life, and I really appreciate it. So I really hope to address this for the last time, because, and this is why. The reason why I got caught up in the brouhaha regarding people assaulting me, slandering me, and swearing that they know that I'm up to something no good, is because I was trying to make sense of it. Once it was obvious it wasn't going to go away, I needed to make sense of it. There appeared to be someone, I won't say their online handle, because I don't want to put anyone down. I don't want to hurt anyone. Like these people have been really trying hard to hurt me. That's all it is. They think they see a phony, and they want to take me down. Too bad I'm not a phony. But that was why it started to become an issue that I thought, well, let me see what's going on here, because it appears to me these are people that have an actual connection to the BC and some history. So I'm trying to make sense of what's going on here. Well, I went long enough because, as they say, I don't know how the old saying went, but it's like, if you do something long enough, the other person will show their hand. And I remained, well, there was no reason for me to blow up, because there's no problem here. There's no deception here. And by just, maintaining my stance, the person finally cracked and started to insult me and show their real intent, and this is again fodder for what I've been talking about. Our actions reflect who we are and what the world looks like to us. So to some people, in their minds and their way of thinking, they have decided, that, they've decided something untrue about me and have acted upon it, and it's just ultimately continues to be a lesson that shows me what I see to be true, which is we operate on what we believe is true. Are many levels of intellect and emotionality, and so not everybody can see things clearly. The fact that people can get a little bit of information and make a decision that becomes a reality happens a lot in the world all the time, and unfortunately it's dangerous. Because the old saying, when you make assumptions, when you assume something, you're making an ass out of you and me. And that's what has transpired here. I need to be done with it because it's harassment, and it's based on somebody's problems, not me. The outpouring of support and love that I have been receiving by going public with this, because I thought these were people that I care about them, but I thought that it needed to be addressed because I thought they were friends for half a second, but they're not. You just really want to hurt me, and I'm not having it. And you upset me as I tried to dissect what the hell was going on, but I'm through with it because, again, had you uncovered something that needed to be addressed, I would be addressing it. But the exact opposite has happened, okay? And let me just say this one more time, and because some of you need to know. The Tooth fundraiser was started for, I didn't want it. I would never do that. Miguel Cedillo is a local videographer and cinematographer who I've worked with on a couple of movies. He saw my video where I was talking about my teeth and my situation, and he decided to start the fundraiser for me because he said, Dereck, I know you'd never do it, but people wouldn't mind helping you. So he started it. Once it got to a certain point where I thought, okay, well, it's a fundraiser, so it ends. I thought, okay, well, I got to get my ducks in a row and get ready to get this going. And I hit a snag by finding out that what I already knew, I have high blood pressure, but it's apparently very high, and the dental clinic I went to absolutely will not do anything till I get that addressed, okay? So then it's like, well, I have to rethink this because I can't just get something done. Plus the amount of money that was raised for me wasn't going to cover the entire amount of what needed to be done. So since I'm working part-time and my money is limited, I've used some of the money to pay bills, and that was the issue for these people that want to have a problem with me is, you have no integrity. You have disingenuously raised money to do other things with, which is not the case. They're certain that it is. And, I'm here to tell you it's not. Consequently, what has happened is Miguel informs me, that he gave me the amount that had been raised, but I don't even track the fundraiser. I don't even know where it's at. But he says, since all this brouhaha these last couple of days, people have started sending money in again with messages saying, we don't care what you do with the money. So someone's sinister, low-down, unfriendly, and unwarranted attacks on me, swearing they know that I done taken somebody's money and I'm doing something wrong with it. So far from the truth, which I knew, I knew it all along. So I stand strong. Now I know, and I'm going to move on, but I'm just saying this for the sake of talking about human behavior and uncovering some things that a lot more people need to know. Even in the face of facts, and this is what we're seeing with politics, because politics is insane, and most people don't seem to really be seeing it. Even in the face of facts, people will still decide to believe what they want to believe. And there's nothing you can do, you know. And, again, I don't care. I care about people and my actions again. I'm telling you again, the reason why I went through this at all was because I care, and I thought these people deserved at least interaction from me so I could figure out what the fuck's going on. But like I said, again, it just turned out that it was, people waiting to just try to zing me, get me, zap me, Evil. Pure evil. Last thing I'll say is, and this is not a put down, this is a statement of truth. How sad must a person's life be that they spend so much time trying to dog and denigrate someone else purely based on something they're thinking. And on top of that, this would never happen. See, the only shit that I get is from people who don't know me, who have never met me. They see my video, and so they can make up their mind, oh, he's it, he's that. But once you meet me and spend time with me, just like I said in the video, So, I'm just letting y'all know it's all good. And people have just been pouring out the love, Messages, phone calls, visits, The last thing I'll say, and I've been holding on to this because it's like people don't understand this because they just think it's a political thing, but I would not be surprised if some of the problem that people are having with perceiving me has to do with the fact that I'm black, and something maybe to do with their thinking about black people. I don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised because I deal with it. I deal with, I've said it before. In racist America, and there's a lot of racism here, you deal with this kind of a fog of atmosphere that is like, you're guilty by merely by being black. Do you follow what I'm saying? Might be some of the perception problems going on for what has happened. And anyway, like I said, I know what's important to me. I know where my foundation is. And I appreciate the support and love, and there is just a ton of it. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much.